now that we've established what we want to do or what I want to do with this vehicle, the first step for me is always these very loose, very fast 2D sketches in Photoshop, usually from a side view, like the vehicle's profile, like the biggest kind of like what's the biggest square footage that you can see on a vehicle is usually the side view, right? And I don't want to overcomplicate anything at this point. I just want to get some very, very loose, hyper basic ideas. Like just going wild. And for me personally, this works the best. Just the simplest side view sketches. Flat brush for line art and flat brush for terrible coloring. However, often I find that it's at this step that I find some of the best ideas. I like to scout for cool nuggets in these terrible sketches. And even here, like looking back at it now, I can look at each of these vehicles and I'll be like, oh, you know what? It's like each of them could be something, right? So the first one here, this one is very much reminiscent of the Jaguar, the French vehicle, right? This was the first sketch, and I kind of went like, okay, what if I just do a first doodle of that thing? And the focus here is obviously like proportions, some color breakups, the sizing of things, and just no detail, nothing, but just like very loose, zoomed out way to look at design. And then from there, I would go on to the to kind of like the rest of the sketches here, and I would try and break out of that initial styling in the first sketch. So the first sketch is very reminiscent of the reference, and then I'm like, okay, what if it has a different shape, slightly different shape in this case? Because I don't want to go too crazy. I don't want to sit here and explore endless ideas and endless possibilities. Sure, you can take each of these designs and do 100 different variations, and after that 100 another variations, but at some point we gotta stop. We gotta move on. So with these, it's a great exercise to do that. Very quick sketches, just quick explorations. Mostly with this stuff, I just rely on kind of my visual library. I've seen enough vehicles by now, and I'm just going off of my brain. And I have some images on the side as well. But usually with these vehicles, in terms of proportions, it's more function driven than style driven. If you want, you can drive it with style. That's fine too. In my case, I wanted the grounded feel. And if you want grounded feel, you need to reference grounded stuff. So you can't put crazy wheel setup or like put a turret in a crazy way, because then you lose the realistic feeling that you're trying to achieve. So this is a little tip for you. If you want to design something grounded, pick a good grounded reference. So these were the 4 initial ones that I liked, and already here I had some aspects that I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. This breakup here on the side, with I tried to like indicate that there's like some sort of a grill going on here. Maybe, I don't know. Like this element here, like very loose. Like I have no idea what that is, but I'm like, you know, it looks cool. Some flowy shapes in a turret makes no sense. Maybe it's a fabric, you know, maybe it's like maybe the whole turret moves up and down and like it's like covered in fabric, for example. That could be interesting. Then here, you know, like these separate elements, all these vehicles have these like separate elements sticking out to break up the otherwise very brick-like silhouette. I like that. That's cool. So even in these sketches, we start to explore different configurations. And also here we moved wheels away from the initial reference, and it might seem like a very like it's not a great it's not like a massive design decision. It's just moving one wheel from the back to the front, but I think it makes a lot of difference because there's not that many vehicles in real life that have this wheel configuration. There are some, but generally you would have, you know, double wheel setup on the back. And it's a small decision, but in my view, it adds a little bit of interest. Maybe people won't even notice that that's the interesting part. But these small decisions stack over time. And in this case, I was like, that's interesting. So so that's the first four. Now let's look at the other four. Let me just create a layer here so I can doodle over. Here's another four. And as you can see, some stuff here departs a little bit from the original sketches. In particular, this guy here, I still really like it. I think this has so much potential. This thing just feels like a World War I troop carrier. At least to me, it feels like that. I think I should redesign it. I think I should take this sketch and finish it as well as a personal project. Who knows? Maybe by the time this course out, this thing is already built as well. But here I just try to explore something something outside of the the parameters that they initially set up, because I don't want to really lock myself into anything, but I also don't want to explore anything too crazy. So again, I take this time with these quick doodles to just like, oh, what would be like another fun thing? And again, I really like this thing. It's so cool. But I didn't go for it in the end, even though I really like it, because I just wanted to stick with the original plan. Because I found with me, it's kind of a slippery slope. You start changing your mind, and then you go to, maybe I'll start doing this thing and I'll realize that I don't like it, and then I'll do something else or not finish the project. So I stick with the original plan. I put this one into the to-do folder, and I'll get to it at some point. It's not gonna disappear. So yeah. Next one here is it's a little bit more sci-fi. You know, we have some absolutely crazy shapes going on. There's like a sphere attached to it. It's got more resemblance to like more like Cold War period Soviet BTRs with like this front thing. It's got some interesting breakup in the middle that I tried to replicate, think, on the further sketches, but it looks cool on the side, or like seemingly looks cool to me, but it just didn't really work in the end. Funky turret, but why not? Maybe it's something interesting. Again, trying to break out of that original reference and try something different, but not too different. Same with this guy here. That's really cool. This has, again, that a bit more Cold War, Soviet period feel to it, but in orange color. And there's not many military vehicles in orange color, so this could be interesting. Maybe this belongs to some sort of a kingdom, and they have like cool graphics and they stylize their vehicles. Again, no shame in exploring this stuff. And the last one here, we have kind of more subdued design. This one I like because it has a very realistic sci-fi future feel to it. It doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles to it. It's just kind of like a functional box on wheels that probably gonna exist at some point. Somebody will make it in the future. But I don't think it's the right choice for my design. But it was cool to explore it. Maybe I'll revisit all of these designs at some point.